Hi everybody, this is Maya Zahira with Psychic Protection Sanctuary, and we are now live in our Psychic Protection Sanctuary Facebook group. This is day 2 of our spiritual empowerment activation for empaths and sensitives, and I see we have some people here already. As people are joining, I just want to give a shout out to those of you who are watching the replay. You are loved. And those of you who are watching on my YouTube channel, Psychic Protection Sanctuary YouTube channel, I want to give you a shout out. And also just a clarification that this is a Facebook Live. This is not a slick, edited, polished video. This is rough cut, and it's intended to be that way because we are here to develop relationships and get to know each other and learn some really cool things along the way. So, ideally I would make the announcements in the middle or maybe at the end, but because it's a Facebook Live and we're kind of waiting for people to join, I'm going to go ahead and make announcements now so that the people who are just now joining don't miss out on all of the juicy content. So, and I have, just like yesterday, I have tons of notes, and so I have to refer to them because I always cover a lot. I give you guys a lot of content in these free classes, and I don't want to forget anything. So the first thing is, what's our topic for today? So, this is a 5-day journey. This is a Facebook challenge where we have a Facebook Live every single day at the same time. And our topic is spiritual empowerment activation for empaths and sensitives. So this is about really activating your empowerment, especially for those of you who are empaths or who do consider yourself sensitive in some way, shape, or form. But I also think that this content is valuable for everybody. Like today's topic, everybody can utilize today's topic. So even if you have a friend who's not necessarily an empath, but struggles with this topic today, you can send this to them. Because today's topic is all about how to discern energy. Tomorrow's topic is going to be really good too. That's going to be all about boundaries, setting boundaries. Oh, and I was just thinking, I think that, I mistyped something in our Facebook group, but I'm sure nobody noticed. I posted something that said that today's class was on boundaries, but that's tomorrow, but it's all good. It's all fine. So as you're joining, we've got 8 people now. As you're joining, I want you to go ahead and share one interesting thing that you learned or an aha moment that you had from yesterday's class, okay? And where you're joining from, okay? So today's topic is all about how to discern energy, how to tell what is your energy and what is somebody else's energy, okay? So, hi you guys. So good to see you. I'm connecting with all of you, heart to heart. So go ahead and share what you learned yesterday, or if there was anything interesting, and where you're joining from. So a few more announcements. I'm going to give away some free gifts today. The first thing is that those of you who are here live and you stay till the end, I am going to give, I'm going to choose one person who will receive my Empath Survival Kit. Yesterday, for our homework thread, somebody got that prize from the homework thread. But today, because it's such a great online program, it's such a great kit, I am giving it away again as a free gift for anyone who joins live today, and you have to stay till the end. So you'll be able to get the Empath Survival Kit, and it is a little mini program that includes an ebook and I think it's two, maybe three, but it's two audio recorded guided meditations to help you with your sensitivities. So it's a really, really good kit, and so stay at the end so you can get that. I'm probably going to give it away again in some way, shape, or form some other point in time throughout this 5-day journey. So if you don't get it this time, then keep going because I'll be giving it away again because it's a really good kit. And then also for the homework thread, anyone who participates in today's homework in our Facebook group, Psychic Protection Sanctuary Facebook group, where this Facebook Live is happening, I'm going to pick 3 people. There's going to be a drawing for 3 people. So not just one, but 3 people. And the 3 winners will get access to my special video where I teach you step by step exactly how to make energy clearing aura spray. You can actually use it for your room, you can use it for your home, you can use it for your aura, you can spray it on your spouse or like however you want to use it. But it's especially good if you're an empath, you can spray it in your aura, and it's really good for helping you manage your energy and clear out the funky stuff so that you can go about your day. And it smells wonderful. So I'm going to be gifting that to 3 people who participate in the homework. Okay. And you all are awesome. You are submitting lots of cool comments about yesterday. So I will get to that in just a minute, and I'm looking forward to reading all of your comments. They've been scrolling through. So today is day 2. It's all about how to discern energy, and as usual, we're going to go pretty deep. You'll want to grab a pen and paper and grab some water or some tea to get ready as we're gearing up for the real content, right? So a couple more announcements. The next thing that I want to talk about is this book that I've written. It's called Darkness Disguised as Light by me, Maya Zahira. You can find it on Amazon. It comes in Kindle and paperback. Some of you actually have found the Facebook group because of the book, and that's wonderful. But the reason why I bring it up is because today I am going to be teaching you a little bit about your different psychic skill sets. But there's a chapter in the book that goes way deeper, and it outlines it step by step and gives you a lot of tips. The book is not a book specifically all about how to manage being an empath. So just to be totally clear about that, it's more about paranormal kinds of situations and unwanted spiritual, how to manage unwanted spiritual experiences like psychic attack, entity issues, ghosts in your house, all sorts of weird things that spiritual seekers and non-spiritual seekers end up encountering. But there's also a lot interwoven about how to discern energy. And that happens to be our topic today, how to discern energy. So if you're interested, you can get that on Amazon, Darkness Disguised as Light. And that will give you, and it's under $20, so it's a really inexpensive way to give you some deeper knowledge in that. All right, we already talked about the free gifts. Yesterday we covered foundations. My final announcement before I go in and read all of your comments and shout out to all you guys and then get into our lesson. My final announcement is just a reminder that the reason why I do this free event every year, and it has a different flavor each year. I mix it up. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. This one is 5 days. But every time I do it, I have 2 purposes. The first is that I very much believe in paying it forward to the universe and just putting out free content out into the world for anyone who needs it. And one of the reasons why I feel so passionate about that is because I've gone through a couple of times in my own life where I really needed help. Like, I really, really needed help. And I also was in very deep, deep poverty. Like, it was pretty bad. I'll just say that. I won't go into that story, but I was like living in like subhuman circumstances a few times, because life happens, right? And so I couldn't afford the like healing sessions and things like that. And so that's why I've continued to be so passionate about putting free stuff out there so that every single person out there can receive something. So even though I can't do my official classes and my one-on-one sessions for free, because I do live very humbly. I live in a really tiny place, a really humble space, but I got to pay my rent. This is the only work that I do, and I'm so committed to it. So I do charge for certain things, but I put out a lot of free stuff, and this is an example of it. So every month we have a free Facebook Live, and once a year, sometimes twice a year, I'll do an event like this. And again, it's just by way of paying it forward, putting support out there for anyone who needs it, and anyone who could benefit, and especially those who are really, really, really struggling, so that every single person has access, right? So I'm really passionate about that. And also, the other reason why I do this particular event every year is because I am looking for a way to connect, do some outreach out to the community, to connect with anybody who might be a good fit for my paid program, which is called the 12-month Spiritual Empowerment Academy, and it is an awesome group. I'm not going to spend very much time talking about it, but I'll just leave it up to you that if you feel like an inner nudge to go check it out, I'm going to tell you right now how you can do that, and I'm not going to talk about the program. I'm just going to let you go and read on your own. You can read the website, and if you feel drawn to it, then you can fill out the application. You can learn about it at my website, which is psychicprotectionsanctuary.com, psychicprotectionsanctuary.com, and under the events tab, you'll see Spiritual Empowerment Academy. And this week, during this Facebook challenge, I'm doing something special because I'm wanting to give away a lot of gifts. And so an additional gift that I'm doing all this week through the end of this challenge, so through Thursday, is that anyone who applies for the Academy and qualifies and joins, so you can't just submit a fake application. So you apply, you actually qualify for it. It's something that's a match, and you join. Then I will gift you, the first 5 people, I will gift a 15-minute session with you, and those 15-minute sessions are really packed. Okay, I can do a lot with you in 15 minutes. That's part of my magic. One of those spots has already been taken up, so now there's 4 more spots for the free 15-minute session. Okay? All right, that is it for announcements. Thank you so much for your patience. Some of you have already heard that stuff before, but y'all know that if you wait, then we get down to it. And what I cover in the free classes is, pretty in depth. So we're going to get pretty in depth today. We've got some comments from you guys. Tony says, your free stuff has been super helpful to me too. Zahira says, hi from Seattle. Anne says, yay. Rochelle says, hello. Okay, now I'm going to go back because the intention for this isn't just for me to teach you, but for you to have an opportunity to share. So this is intended for interaction. And hi to everybody. I'm not going to read off everybody, but hello to everyone who just said hello to me. Hello back. Victoria is saying hello from Dallas. Christy says, I had no idea I was many different kinds of empath. And she's joining from Cartersville, Georgia. Okay. And you guys, if typically if a Facebook Live freezes, then usually if you watch the playback later, then it's usually fine. So if that is ever happening with you, it could be that your internet is, or maybe mine, is choppy, but it always evens out when Facebook takes it and processes it, then it'll be fine. So if that ever happens and it's getting annoying, you can just come back later and watch the replay. Just FYI. Angela says, joining from Kansas City, Missouri, I had no idea there were so many different types of empaths. Lourdes says, joining from Lawrence, Kansas, aha moment. I'm a higher level empath, a more intense level of empath, right? Who knew? Victoria says, I matched the people I know to the different types of empath. Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, to help you understand, your different loved ones and what's going on with them, and maybe days when they're having a hard day. I know someone whose spouse is really sensitive to electromagnetic storms, and so she's able to be more supportive to him and understanding when she knows that that's what's happening with him. So it's a great way to understand the people around us. And you guys, I am in Tucson, Arizona, where it is already hot. I know my air conditioner is super loud, but I don't own a sound studio, so we're just going to have it be noisy, and we'll all survive. It'll be fine. Erica says, hello, everyone, from Indiana. Tony says, I'm sensitive to Mercury in retrograde and sun flares, etc., and was surprised there was a name for it. Yeah. And by the way, some of those things on the list, like that's my list, so I just named them. So there is a name for them because I named it. And now you can call it that too if you want to. Because I really felt like there are more empaths, types of empaths, than what a lot of the internet information or books or whatever are saying. I've observed a lot of different types over the years. Barbara is joining from Smithville, Missouri. She says, I am not crazy. I do have some empathic feelings. Yeah, it can be really validating when you are a part of a group like this Facebook challenge, like Spiritual Empowerment Academy, or any other gathering where you're learning these kinds of things and you're like, oh, all these years I was wondering if I was kind of crazy. I was second guessing myself. And then you get that little bit of outside validation to help you to gain your own self-trust, which is the eventual goal. So good to see you, Barbara. And congratulations on winning the card drawing yesterday. In yesterday's class. Anne says she's joining from Edmonton, Alberta. I hadn't thought about plant empathy. Silly, I knew about it too, just never connected the name to the actual thing. All right, let's see what other comments we have. Okay, yeah, so a few of you are commenting that the Facebook Live is freezing for you and not for others. And so we're just going to keep right on trucking. And just remember, if it gets really, I've had this happen where I've been trying to join something live and for whatever reason it wasn't coming through very well. And so it was getting really hard to listen to. So I just came back and listened to it later, and that's a possible solution. Hopefully everything is good on my end. Barbara says it's looking good on her end, not freezing for her. So we're going to jump right into our content. All right, so it was wonderful connecting with all of you, reading your comments, and hearing about what you learned from yesterday. And yesterday we defined the difference between an HSP, a highly sensitive person, and an empath. And we also talked about the 10 types of empaths. And the goal of going through all of those was to help you to understand yourself better. And I love how some of you took that information to help you understand other people as well. So today's topic is about discerning energy. And this lesson is going to have 2 parts. I'm going to go through and teach you in a nutshell about some of the different ways that you can receive psychic information, psychic hits, information from the people and environment around you. So I'm going to teach you some of those, and then talk a bit about the struggles of empaths. And then in part 2, I'm going to teach you a really simple and brief exercise. After that, we'll talk about the homework, and I'm glad I have my notes written out because I wouldn't be able to remember all this. After that, at the end, I'm going to choose the homework winners who are going to win the video all about how to make my special aura spray. Couldn't remember that. I'm glad I have it written down. It's too many things to remember each day. Okay, grab your pen and paper. If you don't get it all, it is taught in this book. So if you're more of a book person, wanted to let you know that's available there. Okay. Those of you who are already in my academy, you already know all of this stuff, but it's always good to get a little refresher. And if you already know all these things, I'm going to give you like a little different approach right now. If you already know about all the different clairs, all the different intuitive abilities, I want you to listen closely and think about which of these are your strongest right now. So if you're brand new to learning all of this, just take it all in and try to get an understanding of all the different ways. But if you're familiar with it, I want you to think about what's your top one right now, because sometimes it shifts. And are there any of these that are challenging for you? Okay, so I have 8 things written down. It's a little bit beyond just the basic clairs. So we're actually, for the purposes of this lesson, I'm actually going beyond what would strictly be defined as empathy, being an empath. And I'll explain that in just a minute. So I'm broadening it, and we're talking about all of the different types of psychic skill sets or intuitive skill sets, all of the different ways that you can access information without someone telling you or without you observing it. Okay? So the first one is clairvoyance, and this is where you perceive something intuitively through your vision. So you might see like a little movie in your mind or in front of you. You might look at a person and you see a flash of a color that's in their aura, for example, or if you're having an unwanted paranormal experience, you might see someone that has like a dark shadowy figure behind them. That's all clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is psychic sight. That's different than being an empath, but I'm bringing it all up. I'm going to go through this whole list because a lot of times we have more than just empathic ability. We have these other things flowing through as well. And as you're learning how to discern energy, I want you to recognize these other ways. So the first is seeing things, and that includes seeing it in your mind's eye. It's not just that you'll like see an image of like an ascended being or an angel like right there in your room. That's very uncommon, actually. The clairvoyant messages usually come in more subtly, and a lot of times it'll be like an image in your mind. So keep in mind that that's valid information. The second intuitive skill set is clairaudience, auditory, hearing. So this is hearing a sound, a frequency, a word, a sentence, etc., externally, or even in your mind, hearing a word, hearing a sound in your mind. It might be in your voice or in another voice. Either way, that's all considered clairaudience. And so when you're learning to discern what's going on in your energy field to thrive better as an empath, pay attention to anything that you might hear as you're tuning into your energy when we go through our exercise in a little bit. The next one on the list is clairsentience, sentience, and that is clear feeling, psychic feeling, intuitive feeling, and that is actually empathy. So there's a couple of aspects to clairsentience. The first is external clairsentience, where you actually feel something intuitively, psychically, you feel something on your skin, like if there's some weird energy in the room, you might get chills up and down your neck or goosebumps on your arms. Or if you're a spiritual healer, you might be someone who can place your hands over, like onto someone's body or in someone's energy field, and you can feel things about them simply by placing your hand on them. That's what I call external clairsentience. Internal clairsentience is empathy. That is all the things that we were talking about yesterday, where you can feel someone else's emotions as though they are yours. You can feel someone else's physical feelings, like a headache, like a stomach ache internally, right? Or like you can feel it inside of yourself. You can feel your chest tighten because this person had a heart condition. You can feel it. It's information, intuitive information. That is called clairsentience. Okay, so it's feeling, whether it's external, the chills up and down your neck, or feeling a tingly feeling with your hand if you're working with a client, feeling heat, feeling cold, feeling vibrations, or straight out empathic ability, which is feeling emotions or feeling physical sensations in your body. All of that is clear feeling, clairsentience. Okay? That's what our 5-day journey is really about. But in order to learn how to discern your energy and thrive more as an empath, you need to know about these other things too. So we've talked about clairvoyance, clairaudience, now clairsentience. Number 4 on the list is clairalliance. And we don't talk about this one as much. It's psychic smell. So sometimes people will have an experience where if there's an ascended being or an angel present, they might smell flowers or lilacs. So they might smell a beautiful scent. And a lot of times no one else smells it. So it's a psychic sense that's happening, clairalliance. Or you might walk into a room and for no physical apparent reason, there's a really bad smell of like decay, like a dead animal, even though maybe there isn't a dead animal physically there. That can be a sign that there's some really negative energy there. That is clairalliance, if someone is able to discern that. Another example of clairalliance is in your mind, you suddenly remember as though you're actually smelling it, but you're not actually smelling it externally. It's more like you get the memory of the smell of an old lover's perfume or cologne, or your grandma's favorite perfume, or the cookies that she used to bake. Okay, so that can be a sign that that person is thinking about you, or if they're passed over to the other side, it can be somebody is visiting you. Okay, that spirit is paying you a visit or thinking about you from the other side. So that's clairalliance. It's less common, but it does happen. Number 5 on the list is clairgustance, and that's psychic taste. And that is the least common, but it does happen. It can be a dry mouth, a bad taste in your mouth, a memory of a flavor. And again, similar to clairalience, it can clue you that maybe there's something positive or negative in the environment, or that a loved one who used to bake that food dish or whatever, they're thinking about you. The next one on the list, number 6, is claircognizance. This one is really common. Cognizance, claircognizance, like cognition, like thinking. So this is clear knowing. It's when you just know something. You didn't see it, you didn't hear it psychically, you didn't feel it clairsentiently, you didn't smell it, you didn't taste it, you just knew. A lot of people call gut feelings clairsentience or empathy, but I feel like claircognizance, just knowing it, I feel like that is the gut feeling. That you just know it, you feel it in your bones, you know it in your bones. You're not actually feeling it. You just know that this is true. You just know that you can't trust this person, or you just know that there's some funky energy in your aura that glommed on when you were at the store. You can't see it, you can't hear it, you just have a feeling. And in our English language, we sometimes say that we have a feeling, but we don't actually mean empathic feeling. Like, you can't feel it like emotionally, you can't feel it on your skin, but you just have an instinct, right? You have an instinct. That's claircognizance. I did include 2 more things on our list, and even though you won't be able to utilize these 2 things in our exercise, it's important to point them out. Number 7 on the list is dreams. So if you ever have a dream that is indicating to you that there might be something weird going on in your energy field, then you'll want to pay attention to that, since we're working on discerning your energy and managing your energy here. If you have a dream that there's something or someone attacking you or chasing you, it could be simply that your subconscious is working through some unresolved, unhealed wounds, some past traumas. That is normal. That's a normal thing that our human brains do when we're sleeping. But sometimes we might have a dream that is indicating that there's something trying to mess with our energy. And, it's really up to your personal discernment and kind of sitting with it and thinking about the dream and using your claircognizance, your gut feeling, like, was this just me working through stuff, or does it kind of seem like maybe there's something going on in my energy that I need to pay attention to? So do pay attention to your dreams. There's a lot of intuitive information that comes to you through your dreams, even if you think you're not psychic. So start to pay attention to those. And then last on my list are tools. Some of you like to use tools, and by tools I mean like a pendulum, or oracle cards, or tarot cards, even muscle testing. There's ways that you can do. I'm not going to teach muscle testing, but there's ways that you can use your hand. Like, I'll say yes or no. Is there something going on in my energy field I need to pay attention to? You can use muscle testing very similarly to how you would use a pendulum. The pendulum is another way of asking yes and no questions to determine what's going on. We go really, really in depth into using a pendulum and using your spiritual tools, all of your psychic skill sets that we just went through, and how to use oracle cards. We go really in depth into all of that in Spiritual Empowerment Academy. That's actually like a whole other rabbit hole that we don't have time to go in depth into in this series. but I wanted to cover the like surface level so that you'll be I feel like you'll be able to do a lot more with the exercise that I'm going to give you today with that broader knowledge of the different psychic skill sets. Okay, so let's do some participation because you've been listening to me for a while. And I'm just thinking like some of these words might be hard. If you're not familiar with them, you might not know how to spell them. But if you already know how to spell them, you can go ahead and clear out. You can go ahead and type out any that you feel like you can relate to, that you have, like clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. Well, you're all here because you know you're an empath, so you would be clairsentient, clairalliance, clairgustance, smell and taste, claircognizance, dreams, or if you're really good at using tools. If you don't know how to spell all of those, you can say sight, hearing, feeling, or empath, smell, taste. So all your five senses, right? And then knowing is another one, dreams and tools. So go ahead and share which one or ones you feel like you are really tapped into. Most people have one or maybe two. And every once in a while, there's somebody that has several. So don't feel like you need to be a master of all of these. One of the reasons why I teach all of them is because sometimes people will like see someone who's clairvoyant, like someone like me, I can see energies. And so they will take on this belief that if they're not seeing energies, then they're just not getting anything. But look, there's all these other ways that you can get intuitive information so you can discern what's going on in your energy field. All right. Now, comments. Yeah, Barbara is saying she had a dream that helped prevent a disaster. Ooh, Barbara, if you want to share that dream, if you want to like make a post later in the Facebook group, I will definitely approve that post. You can type it, share it. And by the way, I love it when you guys post in our Facebook group. And the only reason why it has to be, quote, approved by admin is because when I didn't used to do that, every once in a while, there would be some really weird, inappropriate things that people would post, and those people are not in the group anymore. But it just, and then it made it feel like a not great environment, and then the people who wanted to be here didn't want to be here anymore. So everybody's posts have to go through that filter. Sorry about that. But I do want you to post anytime you have a cool story, an inspiration, or anything at all. And I would love to hear your story. Joe says, actually, the way you just showed muscle testing on your hand is new to me. Would love to know more about that specifically. You mean this way with the finger? Yeah, so there's this way, and there's this way. If you ever go to a chiropractor, they will do arm muscle testing a lot of times, but you can't really do that on yourself. So there's ways you can do it with your hand or your fingers. Barbara says she's clairsentient. Zahira says all of them. Barbara says knowing. Joe says all except for smell and taste. Yeah, you know, I used to feel like I didn't have any of the smell and taste ones. And I have, in the last 6 months, I've had several smell ones. I had had a few throughout the years, but then I had some that were so strong. And it was when I was talking to someone who has very, very strong clairalliance. She works with essential oils, and I got this like really strong whiff of a particular essential oil, and I didn't even know I was describing it because I didn't even know what it was. I was like, it's citrusy, and it's this and this and this. It wasn't your standard, I think it was bergamot, but I didn't know what bergamot smelled like. And so, but then I happened to open a bottle of it, and I was like, that's what it was. It was pretty fun to have a very clear, like such a strong clairalliant psychic experience like that. It was kind of fun. I mean, it was such a strong smell. It was crazy. Lourdes says psychic knowing. And last I forget who this is. This is, anyway, I know you. Smelling and feeling. Tony says knowing, feeling, dreams, tools. Angela says clairvoyant, hearing, clairsentience, just knowing, and then dreams. Christy says knowing, smell, and dreams, feeling. Victoria says feeling and hearing. Joe says yes. I'm used to arm muscle testing, but not with your fingers. Yeah. Yeah, we can go over that, Joe, privately. Anne says clairaudience, clairsentience. I shared with someone after the best meditation. I can't figure out what that's saying. I'm sorry, Anne. I love you. Oh, it's Stephanie. Last says, it's Stephanie. Yeah. Well, I couldn't remember your name off the top of my head because I'm terrible with names. I knew that's who you were. Good to see you. Yes. Wonderful. Okay. So now that you're a little bit more clear on what some of your psychic abilities are, and then also recognizing that as an empath, someone who feels other people's stuff, and that can be a struggle, that can be a challenge. You're going to be learning how to manage your energy, but before that, so like how to manage your energy, how to keep it strong, how to move stuff out that doesn't belong. But before that, you have to be able to discern what's going on in your energy field. Before I go through this exercise, I want to do a little bit of brainstorming with you guys, though. And I'd like for you to share what do you struggle with as an empath? So going back to empath, where you feel other people's emotions, or you feel their physical sensations, you feel their pain, or you feel other feelings of animals, plants, weather, cosmic energy, global energy, all of that. So no matter what kind of empath you are, what makes it a struggle? What makes it a struggle for you? And I'm going to read off some things that I have in my notes, but I am 100% sure that there are going to be some things that are not on this list that you guys struggle with. All right, so basic thing that empaths struggle with is that you can tend to absorb other energies. So it's not just that you feel it and then let it go. It's that you tend to absorb other energies that are not so beneficial. And then it's like you're a sponge, and then it just like weighs you down, makes you not feel well, makes you feel depressed or anxious, overwhelmed. Another challenge is that sometimes you can't tell what's yours and what's theirs. And that's a big thing that we're going to work on today. What's yours and what's theirs. So it gets all confusing in certain kinds of relationships because you're like not able to distinguish between how they're feeling and how you're feeling. Like you're picking up on how they're feeling, and you don't realize. Like so let's say you're angry, or you think you're angry. You're feeling really angry, or sad, or whatever. You're feeling this emotion, and you assume that it's yours, but really it's the other person. In some cases, I'm just making up a scenario. They are angry and you're feeling that, but it's not even your own, or sad or depressed or frustrated or anxious or whatever. And sometimes you are feeling that thing, but you're feeling it this much. And then this other person or group of people is feeling this much of that emotion. And then you think that your fear or anger is like huge, but actually yours is just this big. And then on top of that, you're also picking up on the collective or your partner or whatever. And it's like magnifying, multiplying what you're feeling times 10, times 100. And so it can get really confusing. So sometimes we take on other people's or other energies. We feel sick, depressed, anxious, overwhelmed. Yeah. So anything else you want to add to that you struggle with as an empath? I know one relationship that I was in years ago, one of the struggles was that, unfortunately, my partner at the time was not really in touch with his emotions, which is fine. I mean, he is who he is. It's totally fine. No judging. But he wasn't really in touch with how he was feeling about different things. But I was like ultra. So I would often know how he was feeling more than he would. And that was kind of a problem. And I'm not saying he was a problem. I'm saying that was a problem because it got really entangled and it was really hard because I was feeling all his stuff, but he wasn't feeling his stuff. And it can get really confusing, right? Relationships can be hard. So both one-on-one relationships, groups can be really hard for empaths, work environments, especially toxic environments, noisy environments, chaotic environments, all of that can be really hard. Comments. Lourdes says, I get overwhelmed by all of the emotions and knowing. Yep. Tony says it can be bombarding sometimes and so energy draining. And Angela says, the emotional fatigue. Yeah, I hear you. Zahira says, everything you described plus exhaustion from being overwhelmed by all of those things. Yeah, it can be very exhausting. Joe says, what Zahira said, same thing. Anne says, not being able to explain what emotions belong to which person. Yeah, and especially if you are dealing with like a group of people and you're feeling all sorts of stuff and you're like, I don't know what all this stuff is. I'm feeling all these different things. It can be hard to identify what's going on. Joe says, toxic environments take me down. Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. Christy says, absorbing and overextending. Yep. So, I'm going to teach you an exercise today, and it's very simple, but it's really important and really powerful. I think sometimes when a method is really simple, we kind of blow it off where we're like, we listen to it, like we hear the process, we hear the exercise, but we don't actually apply it because it just seems like it's not doing anything, but it really, really is. I think you should practice this every single day. Okay, I'm going to get a drink of water, and I think you guys should too. Water. Drinking water. If you start to feel ungrounded or you feel a little bit spacey, having trouble focusing, anything like that, or you're feeling like overwhelmed by energies, literally just drinking a little bit of water can help. But that's not the exercise, but I just wanted to point that out. It's that drinking water is so simple, and if you feel overwhelmed, that can help a lot. Okay, I'm going to walk you through this exercise, and then we'll do our free gift. What was I going to do? Yes, I'm going to pick one person at the very end, to receive free access to my empath kit. Okay, so wherever you are, as long as you're not driving, wherever you are, I want you to get comfortable for meditation. Barbara says, hard to get away from some of these things. Yes, right. You can't, if you depend on your job and it's a chaotic or toxic environment, for example, you can't just get away from it. You can't just like not go. I mean, in some cases you could choose that, but in other cases you can't. So that's where learning to manage your energy is a good thing, and doing good nurturing things after work as well. Yay, April missed yesterday, but she's here today. That's great. And you guys, it's totally fine to jump in wherever and whenever. You can always catch up later. Okay, get ready for a really brief meditation. Quickie meditation. Get yourself comfortable, feet flat on the floor, or if you're cross-legged, that's okay. I want you to sit up nice and tall. And a great way to quickly drop into meditation is to place your palm on your heart, place your hand on your heart center, and take 3 slow, deep breaths, really slow in through your nose, and relaxing your jaw and exhaling out your mouth. And as you take these breaths, you'll feel your chest rise under your hand. And you can even take more than 3 slow breaths. As you are taking these breaths, you are anchoring into your body, bringing your energy, your awareness down into your body, down into your heart or your belly. Just anchoring into your body and becoming more present. Continuing to focus on your breath. We're going to do an exercise. As you explore your energy, I want you to do so with curiosity, just being curious, continuing to focus on your breath, breathing. With curiosity, I want you to first notice any emotions that you are feeling right now. You might notice some emotions within your body or out in your energy field. Notice any emotions. You don't have to judge any of the emotions, just noticing. If there are any emotions that you sense are not yours, for whatever reason, they're not yours, I want you to take a really deep cleansing breath, and on the exhale, you're going to release any emotions that are not yours. So deep inhale. So you've just released any emotions. That are not yours. You can even release any emotions that are yours, but you feel like they are not serving you right now and you're ready to just let it go. So you can do a big, powerful breath in that sense, in that way as well. Now focusing on your breath, anchoring into your body. Notice any physical sensations in your body. Noticing your head, your neck, your shoulders, your chest, your abdomen, your arms, hips, legs, feet, every part of your body. Notice any physical sensations and just being curious. No need to judge anything, just being curious. Noticing any sensations. And now, if you have a sense that there are any physical sensations within your body or within your energy field that are not yours, you can take a deep cleansing breath and release that energy now. Releasing. And also, if there's any of your energy, any of your own physical sensations that you're ready to release, you can take a deep cleansing breath for that as well. Now coming back to your breath, if there's anything else in your energy field that doesn't belong, with curiosity, I want you to notice it. Anything within your body, anything within your mind, anything within your energy field. Again, just with curiosity, no judgment, just noticing. And you take a deep inhale, powerful breath out, and release that energy. You can take additional cleansing breaths if you need to. Remember that you are in charge of your own energy at all times. Nothing else is more powerful than you. Other people's energies imposing upon you, those energies are not more powerful than you. An entity is not more powerful than you. Anything that you've sensed in your energy field is not more powerful than you. You are the most powerful. You are sovereign. So simply with your breath and your intention, we're going to take one more deep cleansing breath and exhale. Feel your energy ground. With that final breath, we were clearing out anything else that doesn't belong. So now just breathing and coming back into our class space. You can open your eyes. This exercise is just one part. Really, it's helping you to discern what is yours and what's not yours. And even if you can't go into a meditation, as you go throughout your day, you can have a simple mantra question that you are asking yourself. And that simple question, when you have a feeling, an emotion or a feeling that comes over you out of the blue, that can be an indication that something is happening. Something is happening with your empathic senses. And when that happens, you can ask this mantra question. Is this mine, or is this not mine? If you're thinking that, if you're with another person and you want to ask, is this mine or is this theirs? So it's a simple question. Is this mine? Is this not mine? Or is this theirs? And then if it's not yours, then you have the simple understanding that what you are feeling is simply information. This is vital, because when you get overwhelmed by external energies, sometimes you can go into hypervigilance, like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling all this stuff, and then like getting into overwhelm, and then it just kind of snowballs and you just feel worse. But if you can remain calm and say, oh, that's not even mine. That's not mine. It's just information. And once you recognize, oh, it's just information, like that feeling, that emotion, that whatever, it's just information. Thank you for the information. And it's helpful. It is helpful to understand what the other person is feeling or what is going on in the environment. That's helpful. That's a wonderful asset to have access to. Thank you for the information. And now you let it go. So is it mine? Is it not mine? If it's not mine, oh, it's just information. I can let it go. And sometimes taking a breath helps with the letting go process. Okay? So that's kind of an additional exercise. The first exercise that I taught, the meditation, that is recommended for you to do each day, whether you're an empath or not, because it's important to become aware, to learn how to become aware of what's going on in your energy field, so that you don't have to become dependent on a healer or a psychic such as myself. Like you can't call up, I mean, it's just not healthy for you to call up your psychic every day or message them every day and say, what's happening with my energy field? That is called dependency. Like you really shouldn't be doing that. So it's important and vital that you learn how to discern what's going on in your own energy field. And as an empath, it's even more so, because the moment that you start to realize what's going on in your energy field and there's something a little bit off, you can release it rather than waiting for it all to build up and glom up your energy for like a couple of weeks until you just feel horrible and you don't know why. So using this method, you can clear things as they come up on a daily basis. And I guarantee you, you're going to feel so much better when you do this. Rochelle says, I have a couple friends who are trying to join your page. I don't know if you are able to add them. So while I'm busy teaching, I actually am not also on my computer. It would take too much time to do that. But thank you for letting me know. That also reminds me to announce to you guys, I made a post, but I'll go ahead and talk about it here too, that I love that you guys are inviting your friends. Like, please do. If you think you have friends who would be interested in this, then please invite them to our Facebook group, and we'd love to have them. Now, also, I'm very strict. I have a lot of filters set up around our Facebook group, and that is why we have such a wonderful energy in our group, because we want to have people who are emotionally healthy and grounded, who are in our group, and not people bringing in a bunch of chaos, which I know you wouldn't invite people who would be like that, but that's one reason why I have a lot of energy filters and people have to jump through hoops to get into the group. But the other reason, the other filter, is that we only want people in this Facebook group who really do want to be here. And so sometimes if we invite friends and they're like, I don't really want to join that group, but then they're added to the group, then we have a bunch of like meh energy, like a bunch of people in there that are like not really wanting to be here. And that's not really the best either. So that's why even if you You being anybody who's watching this, even if you invite friends that you dearly love and you know that they have really good energy, you know they would be fine. But if they only sort of want to join and they're not really like that interested in it, then they're just not really a fit. So that's why everybody who clicks to join the Facebook group has to answer the 3 questions. If they can't bother to answer the 3 questions, then they aren't trying very hard and they don't really want to join. So that's how I filter out the group. So just letting everybody know so that when you invite your friends, you can give them a heads up and you can say, hey, Maya said you have to answer the 3 questions or she won't let you join. So I actually declined like 5 people earlier today that were invited by, I can't remember who they were invited by, but they actually had not answered any of the questions. So when you click to join this group, there's 3 questions, really simple, that you got to answer. Okay. And I know you guys are grateful that I am a mama bear in keeping the energy really good in our group. So that's what's going on. I invite you to continue, or I welcome you to invite your friends, but I'm a stickler on that. If they really do want to be here, they can take the 5 seconds to answer the questions. If I already declined them, because I honestly can't remember who all I declined, you can re-invite them and then they can answer the questions. We'd love to have them. So that's how that all works. And like, even when we're not in the middle of our Facebook challenge, every week I'll get maybe 10, 15 requests of people who want to join. And probably 1 out of 3 of those requests I decline. And I don't know if you guys realize that, but there's like, because I'm very intuitive and I will look at each person and especially if they have not answered any of the questions, I'm like, decline. But like, you know, sometimes I'll have people who want to join and they'll have a whole bunch of like, and I'll click through to their profile, they'll have a whole bunch of like satanic imagery all over their Facebook profile. And I'm like, I don't know why they think they want psychic protection. Maybe because they're messing with really dark stuff and now they've opened a Pandora's box. But I don't work with people who are intentionally calling that stuff in. So I decline those people too. So I keep our group really clean and clear. So that's what's up with that. We haven't done our free gift yet. Zahira says, yes, I'm very glad you are our mama bear protector. I actually have a tank top now that says Mama Bear on it, even though I don't have children, except for fur children. But I am the Mama Bear. And Rochelle says, I understand. Yeah, so feel free to invite people again if you want to. Okay, so free gifts. I'm going to pick one person to... I have all these free gifts. I'm trying to remember again what we're doing. Okay, so one person is going to get access to my Empath Survival Kit. So if you want to be chosen to get the Empath Survival Kit, I want you to type right now, Empath Survival Kit. Empath Survival Kit. Type it right now if you want to have a chance at being chosen for that. Okay, and while I'm waiting for that to come in, for your comments to come in, I am going to remind you that the homework has already been posted in the Facebook group. And the homework asks you to comment on, ooh, yay. The homework, I'm writing something down. The homework, I need a drink of water. That's what happens to me sometimes. Like, I need some water. I need to ground. See, that helped a lot. Okay, so the homework today in our Facebook group is asking you to comment about what you discovered, what you noticed in your energy field. And so without being judgmental about what's in your energy field or without being alarmed about what you notice, just being curious. Like, what did you notice? Was there anything that surprised you? Anything that you kind of expected? So in today's homework post, you can comment, just do a little bit of sharing. And from that homework thread for day 2, I'm going to choose 3 people from the homework thread who are going to receive my video tutorial all about how to make psychic protection spray for your aura, which is really, really helpful if you are an empath. Like, you can spray it on yourself before and after you go into Walmart. Walmart is so hard for me. Oh my gosh. It's really helpful if you use this spray before and after. Okay, so the winner of the Empath Survival Kit is the person with the profile last Stephanie. Stephanie's profile says LASTEH. Stephanie, I'm going to private message you and I will send you the link to that program. It usually costs $50 and I'm giving it away as a free gift today to you, and I will send it momentarily, okay? And I will also check for anybody who's requesting to join the group right after we get off of our Facebook Live. So if you know anybody, I'll check right after, and I'll check later tonight if you're wanting to invite friends, okay? Final announcements before we go. Tomorrow's topic. Tomorrow's topic is all about boundaries, both personal boundaries and energetic spiritual boundaries. And that is super important for everyone, but especially for empaths. And I'm really looking forward to that. I'm so looking forward to that topic that for a little while today, I thought that's what we were covering today. And then just a final reminder that if you would like to work with me more deeply, and you feel that you would benefit from a group format where we go way more in depth than these free classes, I invite you to check out Spiritual Empowerment Academy. And you can find more about that on my website, psychicprotectionsanctuary.com, psychicprotectionsanctuary.com. Under the events tab, you'll see Spiritual Empowerment Academy. And when you apply and qualify and join, then you can receive a free 15-minute Zoom session with me. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but on my website, if you try to schedule one-on-one work with me, it's like crazy, insane expensive. Like jaw-dropping, okay? Like, it's not like you can just easily schedule with me. So getting a free 15-minute session is like really juicy. Like, and we will cover so much stuff in your 15-minute session. So if you feel drawn to it, go ahead and apply. If it's not your cup of tea, that is okay too. I want you to still, hopefully, stick with us through the rest of the week and enjoy all the free content. We will be meeting again tomorrow, same time, same place, all this week. Today's Monday. I keep thinking today's Tuesday. So we're going to be meeting Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will be our final day. And I'm going to take you through a whole guided journey on Thursday to really teach you all of the steps for managing your energy. We have a couple of comments and then we will close out for today. Stephanie says, thank you very much. You're welcome. Yeah, I knew you were supposed to get it today. So, but if you didn't get a gift, you guys, be sure to participate in the homework. And the homework gift drawing is really good as well. What else? You're welcome, everybody. I'm not going to comment on everybody because there's a lot, but you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. And Joe says, thanks for another great session, Maya. Oh, and you're welcome. I feel compelled to tell you guys. So we already said that tomorrow is Boundaries 101, personal boundaries and energetic. And guess what? Empaths, y'all don't just have trouble with energetic boundaries, but a lot of you, us, have had or still have issues with personal boundaries. So we need to work on that. And then the next day, we're going to talk about common trip-ups for empaths. And I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. We're going to talk about narcissists and the common narcissist and empath relationship thing. But there are other trip-ups besides the narcissist relationship issue, and we're going to talk about all of them. It's going to be a really interesting class on on Wednesday. I'm just a day ahead all week this week. And then on Friday, we're going to have our guided journey for clearing, strengthening, discerning, grounding, and anchoring your energy. Yeah, and I'm so glad you made it tonight too. And Barbara, I love you too. I miss you guys. All right. See y'all tomorrow. Lots of love. Blessings.